Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Sodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Sodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jamispad Paramahamsa Prabhupada Asadas of Rishi Maharaj Divine Grace of the A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Anandagauda Vaishnavana Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopya Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Mayapur Navidhan Ki Jai Ganga Maya Ki Jai, Jamuna Maya Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Go Premanandi! How glorious some devotees! Our glorious some devotees, our glorious some devotees, our glorious Shishi Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Is it 34? Okay. So it's reading from the Srimadbhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 20, Lord Vishnu's appearance in the sacrificial arena, text number 34. Maitreya Vacha Iti Vainyasya Rajarse Pratinandhyarthavad Vacha Pujito my eyes are going back. Nagrihit Vainam Gandhum Chakre Achuto Matim Maitreya Vacha Iti Vainyasya Rajarse Pratinandhyar Tavadvachaha Pujito Nagrihit Vainam Gandhum Chakre Chuto Matim Maitreya Vacha Iti Vainyasya Rajarse Pratinandhyar Tavadvachaha Pujito Nagrihit Vainam Gandhum Chakre Chuto Matim Maitreya Vacha Iti Vainyasya Rajarse Pratinandhyar Tavadvachaha Pujito Grihit Vainam Gandhum Chakra Chuto Matim Maitreya Vacha Maitreya Vacha, the great sage Maitreya continued to speak. Iti, thus, Vainyasya, of the son of King Vena, Prithu Maharaj. Rajarse, of the saintly king, Pratinandya, appreciating. Artha vacha, the prayers which were full of meaning. Pujita, being worshipped. Anugrahitva, sufficiently benedicting. Enam, King Prithu. Gundum, to go from that place. Chakre, made up. Achyuta, the infallible Lord. Matim, his mind. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. Srila Prabhupada ki. The great sage Maitreya told Vidura, the great saint Maitreya told Vidura, the Supreme Personality of Godhead amply appreciated the meaningful prayers of Maharaj Prithu. Thus, after being properly worshipped by the king, the Lord blessed him and decided to depart. Now, how many verses did the Lord speak? Just curious. Just that one, huh? No. The Lord, how many did He speak to the king? Just that one, huh? 33. I think that's the only thing that He said to him. No, that's Maitreya speaking to him. I think he just said that one. It appears. Translation. Purport. Most important in this verse are the words Prati Nandhar Vat Vacha, which indicate that the Lord appreciated the very meaningful prayers of the king. When a devotee prays to the Lord, it is not to ask for material benefits, but to ask the Lord for His favor. He prays that he may be engaged in the service of the Lord's lotus feet, birth after birth. I was listening to a lecture not long ago. Prabhupada was saying how Baladev Vijayabhushan, an amazing pastime here in Vaishnavas, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was asked to write a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. He was old, couldn't do it. So he asked his most trusted and efficient, advanced disciple, Baladev Vijayabhushan, to write a commentary. Because the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we didn't have a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. So we, amongst some, we weren't accepted as bona fide. The other sampradayas didn't accept us as bona fide because we didn't have that. So Prabhupada said Baladev Vijayabhushan accepted that service, and he paid dandavats for 3 days, praying to the Lord for the ability to write this commentary in the Vedanta Sutra, the Govinda Bhashya. And he was so dear to Prabhupada that he dedicated the Bhagavad Gita to Baladev Vijayabhushan. For 3 days he prayed. You know, the power of prayer, right? And he wrote this amazing, the Govinda Bhashya. We don't have that translated. I mean, I wonder how big it is. Do you have any idea? What? Govinda Bhashya. I mean, I wonder how. You have it? Wow. Have you read it? Is it pretty big?
I don't think it's any bigger than some of the others.
Would be interesting to read that. Huh? Probably very philosophical. Oh yeah. Right. Continuing. Lord Chaitanya therefore uses the word Mama Janmani Janmani, which means birth after birth. Because a devotee is not even interested in stopping the repetition of birth and death. The Lord and the devotee appear in this material world birth after birth, but such births are transcendental. In the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord informed Arjuna that both he and Arjuna had undergone many, many births previously, but the Lord remembered everything about them, whereas Arjuna could not, or had forgotten. The Lord and his confidential devotees appear many times to fulfill the Lord's mission, but since such births are transcendental, they are not accompanied by the miserable conditions of material birth, and they are therefore called divya, transcendental. One must understand the transcendental birth of the Lord and the devotee. The purpose of the Lord's taking birth is to establish devotional service. What's the verse? Which is the perfect system of religion. And the purpose of the birth of a devotee is to broadcast the same system of religion, or the bhakti cult, all over the world. Pritha Maharaj was an incarnation of the power of the Lord to spread the bhakti cult, and the Lord blessed him to remain fixed in his position. Thus, when the king refused to accept any material benediction, the Lord appreciated that refusal very much. Another significant word in this verse is achyuta, which means infallible, or as Prabhupada would say, infallible. He doesn't fall. We're fallible. We can fall, but Krishna is infallible. He always gives these new meanings. Like so many. Demon crazy. Democracy, demon crazy. In an amazing way with words. Although the Lord appears in this material world, he is never to be considered one of the conditioned souls who are all fallible or fallible. When the Lord appears, he remains in his spiritual position uncontaminated by the modes of material nature, and therefore in Bhagavad Gita the Lord expresses the quality of his appearance as Atma Mayaya, performed by internal potency. The Lord, being infallible, is not forced by material nature to take birth in the material world. He appears in order to re-establish the perfect order of religious principles and to vanquish the demoniac influence in human society. Om Jnanatamanandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshrum Malitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukham Krotavatalang Pangunang Hayate Gurim Yat Kripa Taraham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Vanchakapa Tribhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Bhavanevya Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Here it's mentioned the devotee, he doesn't even want to overcome the cycle of birth and death. He just wants to serve Krishna. But this is the main disease. Bhava Roga means the disease of material existence, birth and death. Now generally we don't think of that as being a disease, to take birth and to die. But this is actually, Prabhupada mentioned this Bhava Roga. And in connection to that, he says birth and death. This is the disease. This is the main disease that we have to become free of, which is not easy. Not easy at all. But possible. So this is one of the diseases. Actually, it's stated in the Vedas that there's three things that one has to become free of when we get them. Disease, debt, and fire. Fire, yeah. These, because when there's disease, if you don't treat it, then it can expand. Just like people get, especially when we get older, You have to get regular checkups. You find that cancer, then they nip it, right? But if you let it grow, then it just takes over the body, finished. So it's recommended for, actually now even middle-aged people, it's recommended to get regular checkups, to see for that disease, to check it when it's small. Otherwise it can grow and cause so much havoc. But this is the main disease is this birth and death, bhava roga. Now Lord Chaitanya, he came to help us become free of disease. Chaito darpana marjanam bhavamaha davagni. Bhavamaha, the blazing fire of material existence. This is another one is the fire. The blazing fire of material existence. But also it's stated, what is this, by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Jeev Jago, Gora Chandra Bole. That how long are you going to sleep on the lap of the witch Maya? Maya is completely taking control of the world. Everybody, and Maya is just sleeping on everyone's lap, and they're thinking, oh, very comfortable, very nice. They're sleeping on, they're sleeping on Maya's lap, and Maya's sleeping on their lap. So it's, and therefore people are bewildered. And then he goes on to say that that you have no other friend than me. I have come to give you the medicine. So take this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Lord Chaitanya has kindly come to give us this medicine that can cure this disease of material existence. It's a epidemic. Everyone is bewildered by the illusory energy. But Lord Chaitanya, he is very merciful. He is Namo Maha Varanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tushe Nama. He is the most munificent incarnation of Krishna because he's freely given out love for Krishna. It's described that when he was in South India, he was traveling, doing Harinam, and he was sprinkling the minds of everyone with transcendental love of Godhead by this chanting of Hare Krishna. People were getting purified all over, and the people would hear the holy name, and they would just become immersed in chanting the holy name of Krishna. And it's described that there was one person from another village. Lord Chaitanya was in one village, and he was chanting the holy name of Krishna. And there was another person from another village, and he was just astounded by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, and he was just chanting Chaitanya, 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 Chaitanya. He couldn't stop chanting Chaitanya. He went back to his village, and he was getting everyone to chant the names of Krishna and Chaitanya, and eventually his name became Chaitanya Das. He was just immersed in the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So disease, just like we have this material disease, this desire to enjoy, separate from Krishna, to be the enjoyer, to be the proprietor. Krishna, he's the actual proprietor. He's the enjoyer. And our pleasure comes when we try to give pleasure to Krishna. As long as we try to enjoy separate from Krishna, then we can't actually, because this is selfishness. This is selfishness. So we're trying to come to the point of selflessness, just acting for the pleasure of Krishna. So then there's fire, there's disease, and there's debt. Just like this, if someone gets in debt, if you don't take care of it, then it increases. Why? Interest. Yeah. The interest increases. So better knock it out immediately. Therefore Prabhupada said, as soon as there's a debt, get clear of it. Yeah. He didn't like debts because it increases. He actually he said that he wanted that the BBT, he was actually very concerned about this, that temples not be in debt with the BBT. He's very concerned about this. There's many letters about this. You know, temples not paying the debt, BBT. So, very important. And we have a debt to Prabhupada. There was one instance where a devotee said, Prabhupada, what can we do to repay you for what you've done for us? Prabhupada said, it's not possible. But if you want to try, then distribute books. This is Prabhupada's reply. So this is how to repay our debt to Srila Prabhupada. He said, because I've given you Krishna. I've given you Krishna. What can you do to repay me for that? But by giving Krishna out to others. This is the best way to repay this debt. Now today is the disappearance day of is it disappearance or appearance day? So he's an amazing personality. We heard a little about this morning. He was an amazing personality. He was very, very humble devotee. So he decided that he wouldn't take any disciples. A very elevated devotee, but he, just like Lokanath Thakur, he also didn't want to. But Vrindavan Das Thakur was so adamant that he decided, all right, one disciple. He had the great Vrindavan Das, Narottam Das Thakur. So he didn't want to accept any disciples, but Lord Chaitanya instructed him to accept disciples. But still he was reluctant. He didn't want to. Actually, there was one devotee here in ISKCON. I won't say his name. Guru in our ISKCON. He said anybody that wants to be a guru must be nuts. It's like it's a huge responsibility, and it's a big it's a very big responsibility. And actually, one of our other gurus, he said sometimes he gets one letter from a disciple saying, "You ruined my life. I don't know why I took initiation from you. I just what a waste." And then the same day he'll get another letter saying, "Gurudev, you've made my life just wonderful. I'm so appreciative." He just goes on and on glorifying him. So this is what gurus have to deal with. Huh? Yeah, completely. Just the disciples just lamenting, "Why did I take initiation from you? You just ruined my life." And then the same day, another disciple just praising him like anything. "You're so wonderful. Thank you so much for giving me this, my spiritual life." Huh?
Writes the letter back to the one complaining. Can you please that?
So it's a big, it can be a very humbling experience, to be a spiritual master, and you're like, for the rest of that disciple's life, you're his inspiration. So you got to be on, the ball, constantly giving inspiration. It's like, can't imagine. So he didn't want to accept disciples. Lord Chaitanya kept instructing him. Because Lord Chaitanya could understand he's a great Vaishnava. So then he said, all right, the person I see the next day, he'll be my disciple. So he went to bathe in the Ganges, and somehow by arrangement of Krishna, he touched one. He was actually young. He was a boy. He touched him with his foot, and he picked him up and he said, "Who are you?" It was a corpse. Oh yeah. It was going down the Ganges. It was a corpse. His dead. So he picked him up and said, "Who are you?" And then I was just reading, the Lord Chaitanya was there. And Lord Chaitanya said, "Say into his ear the mantra." So he chanted the mantra, I guess the Hare Krishna mantra. And he came alive. He said, "My name is Murari." So he became his only disciple. His only disciple. And he became a great Vaishnava. Murari Thakur. Well, I read this morning, it was Murari Thakur. Maybe Chaitanya. But what's interesting is after he came to life, word got out that this boy came back to life by the influence of Jadru Thakur, SriSarangaThakura. So the parents said, "Oh, he's alive! Our boy is alive!" Can you imagine? I mean, can you imagine the joy of the parents? So they go and say, "Whoa, you're alive! This is a miracle! Come home!" He said, "Sorry, you gave me life, and I was with you. My life was taken away. Now I've gotten my life back by SriSarangaThakura. So I'm staying with him." So you can imagine how depressed they must have been then. They lost their... Well, still their boy's alive, and now he's a saint. And he's getting instruction from SriSarangaThakura. So then it's described that he was an extremely transcendental personality. So transcendental that it's described that he would chase tigers and jump on their back. Is that him? He would have that. Oh, so I'm getting mixed instructions. Yeah, when I was reading this morning, it was saying that it was actually SriSarangaThakura that would do that. But it was his disciple, huh? Wow. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, okay. Murari Chaitanya Dasa, well, this is glorification of SriSarangaThakura also, because it's a disciple, yeah. Murari Chaitanya Dasa had no material bodily features. He was completely spiritual. Thus, he would sometimes chase after tigers in the jungle and treat them like cats and dogs. He would slap the cheek of a tiger and take a venomous snake on his lap. He had no fear for his external body, of which he was completely forgetful. He could spend all 24 hours of the day chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Whoops, what happened? Whoops. No, I got it. Sometimes he would remain submerged in water for 2 or 3 days. I mean, that's holding your breath a long time. But he would feel no bodily inconvenience. Thus he behaved almost like stone or wood. But he always used his energy in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. No one can describe his specific characteristics, but it is understood that wherever Murari Chaitanya Das passed, whoever was present would be enlightened in Krishna consciousness simply by the atmosphere he created. Wow. Now that's the Shakti of SriSarangaThakura. He was dead. He came alive and became such a great Vaishnava. It's inconceivable. So, this information that we're getting about Priti Maharaj, he was a great Vaishnava also, and he was such a great Vaishnava that That Lord Vishnu, he came and said, I'll give you anything you want. A very great Vaishnava. And he was a king. He was a king. Now generally, kings, when they are ruling, it's so much management that's going on. Right? But he was completely Krishna conscious. It's like I was a president in Miami for some time, 9 months or something, and it was a headache, you know, just a little temple, huh? After you left, I became the president. There was nobody, so it was a big, it was a headache, yeah. Just managing a little temple, you know. And then there's someone else who's managing the Miami city. It's a big yagya in the state and the country. So Pritha Maharaj, he's managing the whole world. He's completely Krishna conscious. And there was another king who was expert at all the different devotional services. You know, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasdev, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atman, Vedam. Now there's one devotee who's expert at each of these different services, but there's a king that was expert at all of them. Ambarish Maharaj. He was the king of the world, but he was the person who was exemplary in engaging in all of the different services. Yeah. It's amazing. Imagine such an exalted devotee. So exalted that there was a period where he was going to break his fast. He had been doing a fast for quite some time. He was going to break the fast. But a yogi came, Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni is famous as being someone who was very easily pleased and very easily disturbed. So he said, we'll be back in a while, we're going to go bathe, and that particular time while he was gone, it was the time breaking the fast. So he asked the Brahmins there, what should I do? I don't want to break the fast, you know, without my guests here. They didn't know what to do. So Prabhupada commented that out of etiquette, he asked the Brahmanas, they didn't know what to do. But because he's a Brahmana Vaishnava, he knew what to do. See, a Vaishnava is above the Brahmana. He knew what to do. He took some water, just a drop of water. That breaks the fast, but doesn't break the fast. So then Durvasa Muni returned, and he was a mystic yogi. He could understand that he had taken a drop of water. And he took offense to that. What? You honored? Without me? Here? What is this? Pretty amazing. So he took some hair out of his head and threw it to the ground. A big demon appeared. And all the Brahmanas went running. But he didn't flinch. Didn't flinch at all. He just stood there and took shelter of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So, because he was such a great Vaishnava, completely surrendered to Krishna, completely dependent on Krishna, the demon couldn't touch him. This demon that was made by Durvasa couldn't touch him. So then the Sudarshan Chakra came and protected him. And I think he annihilated this monstrous demon that tried to kill Ambarish. Female. Oh, really? Wow, female. All right, I didn't know that. New information coming out in this past time. So then the Sudarshan Chakra starts chasing Durvasa Muni. The Sudarshan Chakra, it's hot and sharp. So he's running from this Sudarshan Chakra, and it's fast. So I think the Sudarshan Chakra is just kind of playing with him. You know, sometimes like a cat will play with a mouse. You know, they'll just play with him. So Sudarshan Chakra could have killed him immediately, But he's just, this rascal is harassing the devotees, so he's just causing intense fear. So he's running around just all over the place. Goes to Lord Brahma. Can you help me out here? I got this SriSarangaThakura here chasing me. Nothing I can do. Maybe Lord Shiva. He's more powerful than me. He goes to Lord Shiva. Nothing I can do. You got to go to Vishnu. Now he was such a powerful yogi. He even went into Vaikuntha. He went to Vaikuntha. He goes to Vishnu. Anything you could do to help me here? I got this SriSarangaThakura chasing me. Nothing I can do. Even Vishnu. Sadhavo hridayam mayam, sadhavo hridayam tvaham. He said to Durvasa Muni, the devotee is within my heart, and I'm within the heart of the devotee. The devotee knows nothing but me. I don't know anything but my devotee. You've offended my devotee. The only thing you can do, you have to go back, and you have to beg for forgiveness. So then he went back. Now, and Ambarish Maharaj is just like, he's, and again, completely transcendental. He hadn't broken his fast yet. How long had gone by? Anybody know except for Devira? Huh? A year. A year he was gone. SriSarangaThakura was playing with him for a long time. He must have gotten a lot of stress from that. So he goes back after a year. Ambarish Maharaj is still waiting for him. And then he pays the obeisance, he begs for forgiveness. No, it's okay, no problem, no offense. This is a devotee. Doesn't take offense. Doesn't take offense. And I was listening to a class by Radhanath Swami. He said a real devotee, if someone offends him, he's forgiving him before the offense is even finished. He's already forgiving him. So this is a devotee. And there's a verse in the Vedas that the symptoms, 9 symptoms of a Vaishnava who's beginning to advance. Kshantir avyartha kaladvang, viraktir manasunyata, ashabandha samutvena, namagani sadarit, ashaktis tad ganakyane, pritasi vajale sale. That's the first symptom. And this is just of someone who's beginning, who's advancing. He's forgiving. Forgiving. If someone offends us, then we don't take it seriously, and we don't even see if we're thinking that we're something important, then we take the offense. If we're thinking that we're insignificant, then who can offend me? Right? So he doesn't take offense. A devotee is humble, but Krishna, he takes the offense. Just like Ambarish Maharaj, he wasn't offended. No, it's okay. My karma. This big demon came to kill me. My karma. He just took shelter of Krishna. No problem. Didn't take offense. So a devotee is forgiving. Kshanti avyarthi doesn't waste time. Time is so valuable. And what does Krishna say about time? Destroyer of the world. Destroyer. This is time. I was speaking to a student the other day, and I was telling him how the Bhagavad Gita teaches about these things, about karma, about time. So I asked him, what do you know about time? He said, that's an interesting question. Time. What is time? Yeah. Time destroys everything. Except for what? Yeah. Well, the soul. Yeah. Also, Aya Harati Vaipungsang Udyan Ashtang Shayonu Tasharte Yakshananita Uttama Shloka Vartya. For every rising and setting of the sun, a day is lost, except for that person who's glorifying Krishna, the all-good personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So, the soul can't be destroyed by time. Krishna can't be destroyed by time, but everything else is destroyed by the influence of time. This whole planet, the universe, everything is destroyed by the influence of time. So we shouldn't waste time. Very valuable. Yeah. I looked it up. There's because Prabhupada speaks about this quite often, about how we should not waste time. And I looked it up to find out how many seconds there are in a day. And now I forgot how many there are. Look it up, Javita. Yeah, it's not difficult to figure out if you got a calculator. But there's a lot of seconds, thousands of them, and we shouldn't waste one of them. 1 second lost, wasted, is a big loss. Yeah. So we should utilize every second properly. Kshantir, vyartha kalat, varaktir, detachment. As we advance in spiritual life, we become detached. 86,400 seconds in a day. It's a lot of seconds. We shouldn't waste one of them. Yeah. So, detachment. So how to become detached? We have to hear again and again the instructions given to us by Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. This is how we become detached. And there's a statement in the I think srimadbhagavatam. The 4 evidences by which one understands the temporary nature of this world. You know it, I can't. Shruti pratyaksham aityam anumanam chatushtayam. Shruti, this is the best evidence by which we can understand the temporary illusory nature of this world. Studying the Vedas, we become detached. Yeah. Just like there's an example given of, in the past, kings, like in Europe, they would have someone to test the food to see if there's poison in the food. Risky job. And the way that they saw that the food wasn't poisoned is the person who tested, he lived. So in other words, sometimes they died. Right? They would die sometimes. So they would test the food, and then they would be okay. You could eat the food. So imagine a king. He's sitting down, getting ready to eat a big feast, and his secretary comes and said, "King, although it's been tested, I've heard there's poison in your food." So just before that message, he was getting ready to enjoy a nice feast. But as soon as he heard that, he became detached immediately. Completely detached. Even though it looks real good, immediately detached. So similarly, we're reading Prabhupada's books, and Krishna's giving us messages. Prabhupada has given us messages. Don't waste time in material life. Yeah. It's poison. It's poison. Don't waste time. And if we hear nicely, then we'll be detached from this material life. And we'll want to serve Krishna. Not only do we want detachment, we want attachment at the same time. We want to become attached to Krishna. Detached from Maya, attached to Krishna. So we're either going to serve Maya or we're going to serve Krishna. Now if we serve Krishna, then we receive the loving embrace of Krishna. Just like that amazing pastime of Gopakumar in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. The end result of his search was he got the loving embrace of Krishna. So we can also have that. But if we serve Maya, then we get the kicks. We get the kicks of Maya. Nobody wants to be kicked, but that's what happens when we serve Maya. We get kicked. Yeah. So, Kshantir Vyartha Kalat Varaktir Manasunyata. Manasunyata means being freed of false ego. Yeah. We have the real ego. Ego just means identity. So our real ego, we're servants of Krishna. eternal servants of Krishna. The false ego is that I am American, I'm Filipino, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm Chinese, I'm Russian. This is the poison, the disease. Yeah. But by this process of Krishna consciousness, we become free of the false ego. And we realize, eventually we realize who we are, part of Krishna. Kshantir Vyartakala Viraktir Manasun Asabandha. Asabandha means great hope. Great hope. You know, sometimes you might think, well, how is it possible that I'm ever going to become a pure devotee? I think that way. But it's interesting that I was just reading in one of the Puranas, it said that if a great devotee somehow isn't able to remember Krishna at the time of death, Krishna remembers his devotee and takes him home. You know. Krishna is very nice. You know. Even somehow we're not able to remember Krishna, if we're sincerely trying to serve Krishna, he'll make up for that, and he'll remember us and take us home. Nice, huh? So we should have this great hope that somehow if I just continue, like Prabhupada said, you chant 16 rounds a day, you follow the 4 regular principles, at the end of this life, you'll go back to Godhead. So that's Prabhupada's promise. But there's a quality in the chanting. We have to chant sincerely, yeah, attentively and sincerely, you know, with a desire to serve Krishna. I think the worst japa I ever saw was, believe it or not, in Mayapur. One person was playing soccer and chanting his japa. The next verse was a devotee was watching a movie on television, chanting japa. I said, Prabhu, this is not very nice. I don't think Krishna appreciates this type of japa. He said, Vijay, this is the only way I could chant my japa. Didn't have a very high taste for chanting the holy name. So we should pray, just like we heard about Baladev Vijibhushan. He was praying like anything, you know, for this ability to write this commentary, the Vedanta Sutra. So we have to pray also, Krishna, please give me a taste for the holy name, yeah, so that I'm not attracted to this, all the nonsense of this world. So I could chant your names nicely, purely, so I could please you by my chanting. So we should pray to Krishna for this taste in the holy name. Yeah. Let's hear one. Yeah, we have a mic. There we go.
So he gives some sample names. Agadamana, O you who are the killer of the Aghasura demon. You are beloved child of Yashoda, beloved child of Nandasunu. You who have lotus eye, who are the moon of the gopis, the Lord of Vrindavan, and of course Krishna. You have so many unlimited names. Please increase my attraction for you unlimitedly.
Increase my attraction for you unlimitedly. Yeah, so we should pray like that. Wonderful. Thank you, Dravida Prabhu. So, Kshantir Vyartakal Viraktir Manasin Asabandha Samutvena. Samutvena. Eager. Eager. Be eager to serve Krishna. This is another symptom. We should be eager to serve Krishna in whatever way it is that we're serving. Or sometimes we have to do the needful. Sometimes Prabhupada would say, you know, he said we should be expert at one and know a little about everything. Know a little bit about every type of service, but we should be expert at one. Yeah? Interesting. So therefore we can do the needful. If there is some service that we have to that's asked of us, we can be eager to do whatever service is asked of us. Not that the temple commander or president comes to us and asks us to do some service, and although we can do it, we're reluctant. We don't want to. No, we should be eager to do service. Yeah. Eager to chant the holy names. Eager to rise and pray to Krishna. Krishna, please help me to serve you nicely on this day. Help me to advance, to chant your holy names nicely. Shantir Vyartha Kala Viraktir Manus Asapana Samudra Namagane Sadaruchi. You got a taste for the holy name. Namagane Sadaruchi. Pray for that taste for the holy name. Ashaktis Tad Ganakyane. To eager to hear the qualities of Krishna, hear about the qualities of Krishna. Krishna has unlimited wonderful quality, but there's one quality that stands above all the others. This is spoken about by the prayers of the personified Vedas. They say there's one quality, although he has unlimited millions of qualities, there's one that stands above all the others. Yes, mercy, compassion. This is the most wonderful quality. Because all of us, we rebelled, we came here to be Krishna, imitate Krishna, but still he comes out of his mercy. He comes to help us out of our ignorance. So he's very, very merciful. And to live in the holy place, we should want to live. And of course, the temple is a holy place, but then also Vrindavan, Mayapur, we should be eager to live in the holy places. And there we could hear about Krishna, the glories of Krishna. Okay, any question or comment? Oh yeah, your microphone.
Asaktis tadgunakyane. You said eagerness to hear about the qualities of the Lord.
Is that correct? Or
well, it's actually, of course that's correct, but this verse, this specifically says eagerness to describe the qualities.
Oh, describe.
Akyane means to speak. Yeah. So
yes,
they go together.
The qualities and discreet.
Yeah,
you hear, that's natural. You hear, then you speak.
Share them. Yeah.
Natural. Any question, comment? Yes, Balaram.
So you said that devotees chant his japa and watching a movie or something.
Yeah.
Are they doing better now?
Huh?
Is that devotee doing better now?
I don't know. I hope so.
Or is he gone?
That was years ago. I can't even remember the devotee's name. No, it's just in the memory there of that. I travel so much, so it's kind of hard to remember places and times.
So I guess in relation to that, I asked Dravida Prabhu this other day, but I guess we'll ask you because it has to do with that devotee chanting japa and watching the movie. The question I asked Dravida Prabhu the other day, what I'm going to ask you is that devotees sometimes they have humans in general, they have a need to kind of relax or decompress. There's a lot of anxiety and a lot going on in the world they have to deal with. So sometimes people throughout the world and even devotees they fall into this. Okay, let's watch a movie. It's it's a way just kind of turn my mind off and just be entertained and kind of relief. So how would you say that a devotee is supposed to because obviously so many of these movies are have nothing to do with Krishna consciousness, practically all of them. So
99.9999999%.
Yeah. One devotee, he said, oh, well, in that movie they said Hare Krishna, so that movie was like devotional service. But, how would you say that a devotee is supposed to, decompress or relax or, kind of in a healthy Krishna conscious way?
Okay, interesting question. Just for you to know, there are very nice God-conscious movies that we can watch. I mentioned, I don't know if it was if I mentioned this to you yesterday, I was talking to SanDiego. Jesus of Nazareth. It's a wonderful movie about Jesus. Very nice, actually. Very God conscious. And Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon. Saint Francis, the story of Saint Francis. Wonderful. The person who did these movies, the same person did both these movies. Very God conscious. Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful movies. I've seen both of them many times. Just like that. I just want to relax. Just watch some Krishna conscious movie, and it is God conscious completely. But I mean, there's different ways that we can relax. I mean, I like to relax just reading Prabhupada's books. It's nice. Yeah, so nice. Yeah, Krishna book and Nectar Devotion, so nice. Kirtan. Well, kirtan can be kind of intense. I think he's saying just kind of, just relax, just chant. Yeah, that's true. We could sit down and chant some nice bhajan. What other ways is there? Can we just let's bring it out to the floor, huh? Hiking, swimming, going on walks. Yeah, different ways we could. Actually, another thing is that these movies. I mean, some of these movies, they're just so it's like a huge percentage. They're so violent. That you become more stressful just from watching some of these movies. It's like terrible things. Even it said that the Mughals, they were in India for 800 years, and the British were there for 200 years, and still the culture was there. But now television has been there for 30 years, and practically it's destroyed the culture. Television, movies, this is horrible, passion and violence, and there's no relaxation there unless you. Oh yeah, the internet as well. Yeah, it's just the whole world is right there in your face. So you have to be very careful about where we, tap our fingers. Because many. That's right. Your destiny is determined what you push with your finger. There's a lot of Krishna consciousness there, but there's a lot of Maya. There's a lot more Maya. You have to be very careful. Sannyasis have become bewildered by the internet. So you go ahead. You were going to say something.
I was just going to mention that. This is an excellent point that Balaam Prabhu was making, because how do we deal with in a healthy way, right? You're saying like unhealthy would be to decompress by watching some non-Krishna conscious film, and perhaps there's other ways devotees do.
Go ahead.
But like also, even on like just casual people do this as well. Ordinary people, like where hikes, swimming, being out in nature is also mentally therapeutic.
Yeah.
So we can also.
Yeah, very good. Because these movies, I remember before I joined, you watched so many movies, but they're in the computer. The brain has all these mental impressions that stick. 50 years later. So we don't want. We want as much as possible Krishna to go in there, and as much as actually Prabhupada said the yoga system means to forget all the Maya and to remember Krishna. But in these movies, there's so much Maya. Yeah, somebody chants Hare Krishna, once in the movie, but then there's so much Maya, which is going in the brain. It's mental impressions are there for years and years, decades. So we don't want those to go in there. We're trying to get rid of those. We want the mental impression of Krishna, and Prabhupada, and devotional service, and surrender to Krishna. That's what we want. Yes, Javita Prabhu. Yeah. This will be the last comment. Or
Just my experience in vis-a-vis what you're talking about is the memorizing verses. This is a way in which you can focus on philosophy.
mental impression.
And like that Agadamana Yashoda Nandana. I mean, I memorized that many years ago. It's like automatic. As soon as the first syllable comes out, and it's there. So it's just like it's in the file cabinet.
Yeah.
You can call on it any time, and then you can there's lesson about Krishna. There's so many beautiful descriptions. I mean, there's of course philosophy, all of these things. So it helps to have a place. Like I was doing my laundry the other night, last night, and I was just I'm folding my laundry, and I was thinking of Krishna. I wasn't thinking of laundry.
That's great. Very good. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.